We also had the opportunity to speak with some of the residents who are most affected by the flooding, and we'll highlight those stories on our show today. First up is Mark Light, who lives along the Saint Regis River, close to the water. Light and wife Marla evacuated their home last week and have not been able to return since. ATV visited Mark at his property, and he candidly walked us through his home and how he's been affected. Take a look.
Okay, I got up, it was still dark, about 5 in the morning, and I looked out back and I seen that water was up to my, I used to have a sweat lodge back here, and it's like up to the sweat lodge. I went back, took a bunch of pictures, and I was thinking, this is gonna get bad. So all day, I sat here all day watching that. I watched it come up, come all the way up to my porch, go back out a little bit, then it come up farther and farther. Then by evening time, it came up real high. When I knew that it was I was sitting in the kitchen, shook my house. When it hit, the ice was hitting all over, and I could hear it. Boom, it shook the house, actually shook the house. So that's when I went, looked in the basement. I watched that water fill up to the ceiling, right below the breaker box. And that's when I figured I better call National Grid, have them shut the power off. I figured we have to bail out of here. That's when I figured that was still dry. So we were moving stuff out of here while that water was coming through here. We were running stuff over there. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. So what was your reaction like when your property started getting flooded?
My reaction, I don't know, I was kind of excited, you know. You get a feeling of excitement and of that, you know. I mean, I'm worried, you know, worried about our house, of course, you know, but it's just, there's nothing that you can really do about it but watch it. That's all you can do. It's a feeling of, I don't say helplessness, kind of, you know, I mean, you're at their mercy of the water, so you just let it do what it's got to do. I mean, the river's going to do what it's going to do. There's nothing anybody can do about it, and that's just the way it is. That's the way life is. I mean, I watched this river for 25 years, every spring go out. Never seen it like this, and it's just amazing. To me, I'm like, it's amazed. I'm amazed at it. And pretty much lost, you know, everything, but.
What happened when you were told that you had to leave your home? Like, what was going through your mind? And then, you know, like.
Well, first I wasn't going to leave. I was going to stay. I was going to stay in there overnight. And that's when we ended up helping somebody else out. Went to go get sandbags. Had my grandson and his crew, and about some 5 14-year-olds. And we was the only ones there. Matt Tarbell, and he helped us. We had 2 trucks loading sandbags up. And we got there, and another guy pulled up, and his house was already a foot deep, and he needed help. Nobody, you know, he was all by himself, so we decided to go help him because my garage was still dry then. And by the time we got back over here, the water was 2 feet high, going around the garage, 2, 3 feet high. It was pretty deep. And what caused it all is that thaw in January. If it didn't thaw in January, we wouldn't have this problem right now. That's what caused it, was that thaw in January, because the ice, the water came all the way to in between our houses here. And then I watched it, then it went out, and then it came back in again even farther, and then it stayed, and I watched it freeze because the temperature dropped to 20 below in an hour, and I watched it turn to slush and turn to ice. So you got 2, 3 feet of ice already on the properties along the bank, and the river froze at that level, and then with another thaw, and with the ice, that's what caused it. It's that January thaw.
And other people were saying that it's from the dam being removed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it's pretty nuts that they would even think that. You can't think that. It's the weather, you know, nothing to do with the dam. If the dam was in, that bridge would be gone. Probably Mohawk School would probably be gone because that ice would be another 10, 20 feet higher on that side. It would. It'd be unreal if that dam was in. I think that dam saved a lot of places.
Have you ever seen anything like
25 years, never seen it like this, no. We've had it come up to here, the ice, and then, but in the spring, because it's going out, what it does is it's pushing it out. That's why it'll back up, because it's pushing it out. Because that's after the St. Lawrence opens up, the ice, it'll push it out. Everything's blocked in right now. St. Lawrence is still frozen. So the ice has no place to go. Even when this cuts loose, it's still gonna block right here, and that it's gonna push it all up. All this is all gonna go like that. I've had my sweat lodge up pretty much under all but that much before. And I've had it come up so fast, I had to run up because that water is coming up so fast. But it always goes up because then it'll break through and then it recedes. It doesn't stay like not even for an hour. you know, and it breaks through and it goes out. Maybe it'll come all the way up, and then 10, 15 minutes later, it'll push out.
Is there anything else that you feel like is important to add?
I praise up my grandson and his buddies for these guys, man. And sometimes they're so lazy, it's hard to get them to bring wood in the house. But when the fan, you know, those kids, they were like hustling, man, throwing bags and sandbags and like really working hard. And so our dog probably would have drowned if, you know, if they didn't. I would have lost my car. Grandson, he jumped in that, and the water was up to the doors.
Oh, so what's next?
It's got to melt and move out, that's all.
So you're predicting it's going to be, like, what do you predict after it's all solid?
I think it's going to be up to our windows, this ice coming through here. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I always think of the worst and hope for the best, you know, but that's what I see, because I've seen it come up, hardly anything, nothing like this, nothing. I've seen that ice come up to here. So imagine when this cuts loose, and that's when it cuts loose. Look at how high it is. That's good 10, 12 feet high right there. Never seen it like that. It's amazing, the power of it. Put trees down, pretty much. I don't know what to do.
Yamago for sharing, Mark, and we send our best wishes to you and your family.
Once again, we encourage people to donate to the various fundraisers that are ongoing for Akwesasne flood victims. But don't go away. We'll be right back right after this quick commercial break.
Yo, honey,